Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Drawing Down the Stars. I am Snappy, and thank you for joining me for our live tarot session today on July 14th, 2024. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day, and I'm so happy to be excited to be here with you all. So let's give a shout out to the chat. Good to see you, Lisa. Good evening, Kari. Banner, good to see you. Scoby, love to see you. Johnny, nice seeing you. Nikosmas, great to see you. Dorian Price, all the love. Gandhi, much love. Estuck, good to see you. Christy, good evening. Mother Rhea, all the love to you. All right. Thank you for the shout out about the podcast from earlier. Appreciate that. All right. Well, we're going to begin as we do by first talking about the astrology for the day. And today we have some intense energy. We have the moon moving into Scorpio. You know, this is really that energy that is very ultra sensitive. This is the kind of energy where we're really going to want to be thinking about our emotions and being aware of our sensitivities and trying to be in flow with this. This is intense energy, but it's also energy that we can use to our advantage. You know, we have a strong ability to be able to conquer, like, we can overcome and face a lot of our bad habits, the things that need to be reflected upon, right? It's a really good time to go into the self, you know, to go out under the stars, connect with that lunar energy and really reflect upon, you know, your emotions. It's kind of going to be a time when we're going to feel wounded, right? And that is both when we're wounded, we can really understand where the hurt is coming from, you know, or we can allow it to get hurt and exposed. So we really got to be in flow with that energy. And we combine this, right, with that sun in Cancer, which we've been dealing with over the last little while, which is this profound loving energy, this focus on family and on building and on protecting, on connecting in that emotional flow, right? And we also have this profound energy of the Leo that's moved in a big way, right? We still have all of this Leo in Mercury, which is allowing us to be confident in our speech. It's allowing us to speak our truth and to be honest with ourselves, right? And then we have that Leo energy in Venus. So this is allowing us to be in that confident flow in terms of love, to connect to our partners, to connect to others with confidence. You know, it's really intense energy and it's beautiful energy. Okay, so I do have a question here. Someone is asking, would you recommend something like weed to help in a person's spiritual journey? And when I ever talk about the entheogenic path, it's one that it needs to be understood from a very reasoned, logical perspective, okay? There are very great gains to be made through many different entheogens, but it must be done in a reasoned way, and you must know yourself and your body first, right? Every person is different. Every person is going to react. I would never recommend a drug to anyone because that is a very deeply personal thing. You know, something like cannabis can be extraordinarily transcendent for those who it works well with. Other people, it can be not so good. You know, I generally say that this is one of those where people should experiment. You know, you need to be in flow and connect in a safe way, but you know, it's up to you as an individual. It's a personal choice, right? The key with the entheogenic path is dote and antidote, everything in balance. And you need to recognize the pitfalls. They are great, right? While there is the chance for grand vision, there is also the grand chance for failure. You know, and it's true of any of the entheogens, even something as mild as cannabis, right? Know thyself. Okay. I want to talk a bit about the title today and that power of the magician card. When I did my meditations and I drew my card to decide what I wanted to title today's episode, what I drew was the magician. And I feel that the magician is this really profound energy of movement and action and ability. And it's just really, really beautiful. And I wanted to read something that I took from the Book of Thoth. And it's in regard to the magician card. And it's really, really, really profound. Just let me bring it up here. It says, this is by Aleister Crowley, of course. Mercury, however, represents action in all forms and phases. He is the fluidic basis of all transformation of activity and on the dynamic theory of the universe. He is himself the substance thereof. He is, in the language of modern physics, that electric charge, which is the first manifestation of the ring of 10 indefinable ideas, as previously explained. He is thus continuous creation. Logically, also being the word, he is the law of reason or of necessity, or chance, which is the secret meaning of the word. I just want to pause here because this is some deep, deep revelation and it needs to be focused upon. Logically, also being the word, he is the law of reason or of necessity or chance, which is the secret meaning of the word, which is the essence of the word and the condition of its utterance. Crowley know the mysteries, my friends. The logos is reason, and it is reason that defines the universe, and it is that utterance of the reason that it becomes word. But preceding the utterance is the reasoned logical thought itself, right? The logos is reason. This being so, and especially because he is duality, he represents both truths and falsehoods, wisdoms and follies. Being the unexpected, he settles any established idea and therefore appears tricky. He has no conscience, being creative. If he cannot attain his ends by fair means, he does it by the foul. The legends of the youthful Mercury are therefore legends of cunning. He cannot be understood because he is the unconscious manifestation of will. The word creates. Very true, Derek. The word creates. So when we read this and we understand what Mercury Hermes is, what this energy of the magician is, when you draw down that energy, you are manifesting your true will, the unconscious will of the universe. You are acting in a state of flow, but at the same time, you are ascending the throne and you are directing it through the vessel of your own ego. It's a very powerful, powerful energy, a powerful card. And it's a dangerous card because to assert the will upon reality is to invoke karma, right? Every action is a reaction. And if you act in greed, you will pay. It's that simple. But that doesn't mean one should not act or one should not take that magician role. That magician role is profound and powerful, right? And the lesson here is to take action and to manifest your will, right? To be in movement, to imagine yourself into the future, to project what you desire, and to make it so, right? The absurdity of the magician is that he does what he wishes. All right, interesting. I wanted to now jump over to our sortes. I have an interesting book I wanted to bring to you all. It's called Independent People, an Epic. And it's by Haldor Lacknes. This is a Icelandic epic, a really, really incredible book, social realism. And it is about this guy named Bjartor. I'm probably, I cannot do any Icelandic, but Bjartor, which is bright, he's this young man who seeks independence. And after decades of struggling, he gains enough money to be able to buy his own farmstead. But the land is cursed land, cursed by the saint Columbia, who they call the evil witch Kulamkili. And it's all about the struggle to manifest one's will upon reality and what that truly means, and the sacrifices one takes and the selfishness that could mean, right? When we wish to manifest our will, there can be many roadblocks in the way, right? Especially if it goes against the flow, it goes against what we are meant to do. And part of the magic is learning to see where you're meant to go. You can fight, you can persist, you can struggle, you can achieve independence, you can carve a life for yourself out of the raw earth. But would it be worth it? You know, these are questions that are worth struggling with. Interesting to think about. So we're going to begin our sorties with this beautiful book, Independent People. All right. For those of you unaware, the sorties is a form of bibliomancy, that is divination through literature. And we're going to invoke the spirits of the muses, those goddesses of inspiration, ask them to guide our hand, and we're going to select a passage at random. And we're going to read that passage out of context and apply it to our present as an inspiring word. All right, here we go. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from an independent people? Okay. It's easy enough to murder and destroy when everybody's asleep, he cried, shaking his fists into the frozen face of nature and up at the sky. Wow. It's easy enough to murder and destroy when everyone's asleep, he cried, shaking his fists into the frozen face of nature and up at the sky. Wow. Really incredibly intense energy. And also something to really reflect on and to acknowledge. Nature is a harsh mistress. She moves, and the only thing she utters is adapt or die. And this is a very hard thing to struggle with, especially when we want to manifest our will upon that reality. You know? Wow. Can you force your will upon that nature? Can you transform that nature to suit your needs? Is that what you wish to do? Things again to reflect upon. When one manifests magic, one must be prepared for the consequences, right? And one must be prepared to wrestle with nature. Part of magic is learning to harmonize. But if you wish to sing your own song, it's a bit different. Let's see where this is going. I'm now going to go to this interesting book. It's called Underworld. This is by one of my favorite publishing houses, Theon Publishing. They have a bunch of really interesting books. And this particular book is called Underworld, A Practical Guide to Necromancy. And it's compiled by the Sepulture Society. Sepulture Society is one of these mystery groups that works as a collective. And this book is kind of interesting. They've compiled a bunch of different mythologies, and they reflect upon them and what they mean from a practical magic and comparative mythological perspective. All right. So another book I recommend, Muses. What is the message from the underworld and the Sepulture Society? Guide my hand and send us the inspiration. Okay. It is understood that Varahari is connected with the underworld, but not as clear if she is connected to the dead. Wow. On the one hand, temples devoted to Varahari that hold a legitimate Devi, goddess, she is able to grant her devotee any boon, even impossible wishes, and that she is able to grant them a beneficial afterlife. It bears asking, though, exactly where that afterlife would be if she herself resides in Patala, the underworld. This is really interesting because I'm just going to finish this section. The other deities are understood to inhabit the upper worlds, and so their devotees would ascend. It stands to reason that Varahari's devotees would descend to her realm in the Patala. This is not necessarily a bad thing, because large sections of the Patala realms are said to rival the heavens in terms of pleasure enjoyed there. Of course, many devotees of Varahari would insist that she too has an aspect that resides in the heaven, and one of her cults celebrates her name as the mistress of the three worlds. I wanted to just read all this because it's just really amazing. Varahari is one of these Vedic Shakti goddesses, the consort of the Lord of the Dead, Yama. And immediately, for those of us with ears to hear, we're going to think of the Kori, right? Persephone. But I wanted to read the whole thing because we do not just have this image of that beautiful Kori who is connected to the Lord of the Underworld. We also have the mistress of the three worlds, her with three faces, who rules in heaven, who rules on earth, and rules in the underworld. And that is none other than Grandmother Hecate. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful imagery. You know, and we're reminded too in this that the underworld has its own pleasures and offerings, its own beauty. Where is Elysium but the underworld? Beautiful. Wow. That was a lot of fun. Great. Thank you, Sepulture Society. We are going to jump now to one of my favorite playwrights, a must read, Federico Garcia Lorca, and three of his tragedies, Blood Wedding, Yerma, and The House of Bernarda Alba. All three are worth reading, but Blood Wedding is or what even better yet, watch an adaptation of it on stage on YouTube. Amazing stuff. All right, Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Lorca? I'm not the one who sets it there. You do it by your conduct, and the town's beginning to say so. It's beginning to say it openly. When I come on a group, they all fall silent. When I go to weigh the flour, they all fall silent. Even at night in the fields, when I awaken, it seems to me that the branches of the trees, they too become silent. Wow. I'm not the one who sets it there. You do it by your conduct. And the town's beginning to say so. It's beginning to say it openly. When I come on a group, they all fall silent. When I go to weigh the flour, they all fall silent. Even at night in the fields, when I awaken, it seems to me that the branches of the trees become silent too. We attract the energy that we project. You do it by your conduct, and the world responds in kind. There is a lot to be said about the energies that we engage with and we attract. And this needs to be recognized with this chthonic energy because it needs to be balanced. If you just go and engage with something like Saturn, you're going to cut yourself off from the world and you're going to find yourself alone and isolated very quickly. Not to say that that's not necessarily a good thing if that's what you need, but it's something to be recognized. And if you're going to engage with that energy, you should balance it with something or engage with it in not solely. Everything must be seen as is in flow. I always recommend everyone pray to all of the gods. Pentateos. Yeah, and Helios, that divine sun, Apollo Helios, that energy, also the Hecate inversion of that, the divine grandmother sun, that energy is the grand cleanser and the reset, right? The center of our universe. And that can always go forward, that fire, that flame, right? Beautiful. Okay. We are going to continue. Now, let's go check out Bullfinch's mythology. This is a really fun collection of various fables and tales from the age of the ancient Greeks all the way up to Charlemagne. All right, muses, guide my hand. What's the message from Bullfinch's mythology? The cool thing with this book is you can find it for dirt cheap at your local thrift shop. And I highly recommend. Because I knew not when he went, said he, and I marveled too, said she, how he could go unknown to me. Because I knew not when he went, said he, and I marveled too, said she, how he could go unknown to me. This is kind of wild. This is that energy of being in perception and being able to perceive. Being able to really engage with those divinities, And then when you see magic around you and you see something magical happens or you notice something, you then wonder, how did I not recognize it? How could I not notice that divinity? How could I not see that profound presence? It was right in front of me. But this is often how it always plays out. Really interesting energy. Wow. Someone in the chat is asking about Pombagira. Pombagira is beautiful, beautiful energy. Definitely check out. I would highly recommend. Nicholas de Matos Friswold has a book on Pombagira. Beautiful energy. She loves to be engaged with that red goddess. That's one of her forms from the Quindamba of Brazil. All right. We are going to go to, let's see here, Edgar Allan Poe. Okay. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from the great Poe? Inspire us this evening. It was necessary that some immediate exertion be made, yet the turret was altogether apart from the portion of the abbey, tenanted by the servants. There were none within call. I had no means of summoning them to my aid without leaving the room for many minutes, and this I could not venture to do. Oh, wow. This is so relevant to today's message about movement and about taking action. Let me read this again. It was necessary that some immediate exertion be made, yet the turret was altogether apart from the portion of the abbey tenanted by the servants. There were none within call. I had no means of summoning them to my aid without leaving the room for many minutes, and this I could not venture to do. It was necessary that we moved, but I couldn't. I couldn't because I was bound. I was trapped. There was no one within my call, right? No one could come to my aid. Why are we unable to move? Why does it require someone else to come and move? You know, I usually don't read it in context or think about it in context too much, but it's hard not to because it opened to my absolute favorite Poe story. And I've read this line many, 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 many times. This comes from Ligeia. And this is specifically in a moment when his wife is dying from a mysterious disease in the bedchamber. And he is completely wrecked out of his mind on opium. And he cannot bring himself to leave her as she's dying to call for help because he's afraid that she will die without him witnessing. You know, and part of him wants to see her die. There's something odd happening. There's something that is replacing her. This is not simply a death. When he was in this opium stupor, he designed this room. He placed her in this tomb. He fed her the poison which brought her to this place, though he would say he never willed it so. Everyone should read Ligeia. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. But the question remains, what are we waiting for and what ties us to the place? Are we waiting upon a death? Does it take death before we can move? Lots to think on. All right. Wow, some intensity today from the sortes. Okay. Before I hop over to the tarot, please take a minute, like and subscribe. It really does make a huge difference. It boosts everything within the algorithm, and it does help the channel. And it's a good blessing. It's good karma. It helps. Please, I would love it. And if you are interested in a private reading, you can message me, snappydts@gmail.com, or you can reach me on the Myth and Lore Discord, Snappy or Lady Snappy. All right. For our tarot, we are, as always, going to use the Thoth Tarot of Lady Frida Harris and Aleister Crowley. We are going to use the Saturn Square where we invoke that power of Saturn Chronos. We dissect our life, we cut it up, and we expose it upon the plate. We look at the interconnections, and we try to see how to overcome our conflicts, how to move and flow, how to best evolve, how to manifest our true will. All right. Muses, what is the message? Center card is always the most important. Oh, gosh. And here he comes, here he comes, here he comes. This is energy that this community that we have been embodying for many days now. Off and on, he returns in some form or another. And here he returns as this center, what we need to fixate upon and what we need to focus on. Who is that Prince of Cups? Or sorry, the Prince of Discs. My apologies. That Prince of Discs is that young man energy, that person who's going out to transform the world around them, who's showing up in that moving way, who's trying to build and manifest in the physical, right? Profound energy, powerful energy, but it is showing up immature, reckless even, right? The question with this person is he going to show up and try to knock everything down? Is he a bull in a china shop, right? Or is he going to be the one who does the hard work and works the plow to give us all the food we need to survive, right? This young man can be the greatest blessing or the greatest curse, you know? But either way, it's beautiful energy to reflect on our center. Right now, we are building, we are moving, we are doing, but we need to be cautious. We are showing up recklessly, we are showing up immature. And this is energy that must be balanced and grounded. Let's see where this is going. What is that prince after? Wealth, right? Wealth in many ways is power. This particular person desires the power and the freedom of movement, desires to build something beautiful, strong, right? This is the creation of the tower. It's not simply monetary wealth. This is the building of a home, of a tower, of completing of that family, right? Of having the child as well. That's profound energy. This young man has grand ambition, right? Beautiful ambition. What we all truly desire, right? How is he doing it? He's doing it in the way that he knows how, through hard work and persistence. This is beautiful energy to see with this young man. This young man is where he needs to be, right? He may be a young man, but he is doing what is necessary, right? He's putting in the hard work to transform his surroundings, to manifest that tower, to draw in that wealth. The issue with work is this senseless toil, right? The issue we have to worry about with the young man is that the young man, the Prince of Discs, may fixate upon the work and may not see his efforts go to waste. Let's see where this is going. Is our young man able to manifest his tower? All right. Wow. Connected to this young man is this abundant, loving energy. 10 of Cups, Satiety, right? This is beautiful energy. This is overwhelming, loving flow. This is having many emotional connections and support. And if you look at these cards, they are flowing into one another, giving and receiving. And it's in abundance. The love is pouring out. We have charity to give, right? We have excess to share. Beautiful energy to be fulfilled, right? This young man is fulfilled in his emotional surroundings. The love is here. And this really resonates with our reading of yesterday, because we had that profound cup presence, overwhelming cup presence, right? Love, success, foundation, like that luxury, right? Just amazing. And now we're seeing it again. Okay. Where's this love going? This love is going to manifest into something truly beautiful. New creation, right? The Princess of Discs, this is such beautiful energy. This could be a child. This could be a new project. This is something beautiful and real that'll grow and prosper and become the queen or the knight, right? This is really intense energy. And having it connected to that satiety, these loving relationships, these connections are producing beauty. But it's also this young creation that needs to be tended to. And we're showing up in a way where we can tend to. We have love to give. We can nurture this cup, this princess. We can help her become who she wishes, embody that knight, or manifest that queen. Let's see where this is going. The queen. This is beautiful, beautiful energy. Mother-daughter energy, right? Through coming together and through that loving relationship, the princess becomes the queen, right? And this is that connection, that motherly love, that abundant satiety, that there's something truly, truly magical and unique about a mother-daughter relationship. You know, this is a profound connection, one that is deeply fulfilling in its certain modes, one that you know, the mother and the child can see each other reflected in themselves, and they can really be those mirrors and can really provide that love that they need. Beautiful energy. Wow. You know, and this is about that queen taking the responsibility to provide that satiety to that princess, right? The princess needs to be nurtured. She needs to be cared for. Sorry about the glare today, everyone. You know, she needs to be cared for. She needs to be understood. This Queen of Cups has this in abundance, can do this. That's such beautiful energy to see. Wow. All right, let's see where this is going. Beautiful. The moon. That divine feminine, right? Those deep internal emotions. This young man, that Prince of Disc energy, he's connecting to this moon. To manifest this tower, it's not enough to do the hard work. There's also this lunar water aspect, drawing into this intuition, connecting to that divine feminine, being in flow so that you can produce this satiety, so that you can connect to this Queen of Cups, so that you can nurture this princess, right? And this is all part of this plan, part of this movement, part of this work in order to manifest our tower. Wow. This is beautiful family energy. Let's see where this is going. Intense. But this is energy that we see coming, right? Death is transformation. It's the ending of a cycle and the rebirth of something new, right? Having it connected with that deep moon. What we're seeing here, especially right now with the moon in Scorpio, we're seeing a severing. This is about radical change, right? Changing habits, bad habits that no longer soothe us. About doing that hard reflection, going into ourselves and reflecting upon it, what needs to be done, right? What is no longer serving us? What needs to be cut? Intense energy, but this is the energy that is going to free us, that's going to allow us to move in flow. It's going to allow us to manifest that tower, to connect to that queen, to nurture that princess, right? Where is it going? Yeah. What is it all about? Transformation, change, movement, willed action. What are we manifesting? What are we trying to do? You're trying to build this tower. You're trying to connect to this queen. You're trying to produce this princess and nurture her, right? To do that, you must embrace transformation. You must do the hard work of reflecting upon those deep wounds, those deep emotional scars, looking at those habits, those actions that hold you back and changing them, right? Now is the time to take that scythe to the self and to make the changes necessary to move and flow, right? Wow. Hard energy, moon and Scorpio energy. All right. We're now going to flip my camera so you guys can see the full Saturn square. Excuse me, apologies. I'm just going to take a second here and ask you all to please like and subscribe. And if you can, share this with people and let them know that I'm doing these daily tarot readings and that they're for, whoever is listening, and you take with what flows with you and disregard with what doesn't flow with you. And if you are interested in a private reading, please send me a message. You can email me, snappydts@gmail.com, or you can reach me on the Myth and Lore Discord, Snappy or Lady Snappy. All right. Thank you, guys. Here we go. Let's take a look at our fourth square. Okay. We're going to start over here. That wealth, the key to manifesting this wealth, to bringing in this, it seems obvious, but it's the truth. You got to change. You got to leave the past behind, let it die, and embrace this new life, new creation, this new loving energy of this child, right? What is the wealth? The wealth is that joy. It is that child, right? It is that Plutus energy, you know? And the key to achieving this wealth is this connection to the divine child. It's about nurturing that child. Wow. And about taking the responsibility, right? To really have this wealth, you must take responsibility for this, the princess. She can be a knight or a queen if she is loved, right? Beautiful. Where's this going? Start here. Yeah, this knight, right? We looked at the first cross, right? The first cross is about work and doing that physical, hard stuff about building this tower, bringing in that wealth, bringing in that power, bringing in that love and that family, right? All of those desires, that Plutus, transforming our reality. That's this line. This line is the undercurrent of that, the watery side, about connecting to our emotions, that divine feminine, about connecting to this loving energy, about being in this loving energy of the Sadie, giving and receiving, doing that side of the work as well. This young man has to take responsibility and do the hard work of engaging with his emotions, connecting in a loving, flowing way, and sharing that love, sharing those cups freely with both this queen and this princess. Beautiful. Let's see. On our other side here, we have that 3, the work, right? Transformation, building in our current and our present reality, right? The key to this movement and change, to coming into contact with this queen, to being in this connection, this loving flow, it's about this work. You have to do the work necessary that'll give you the ability to be able to move and adapt, right? You have to be willing to move. You have to be doing what's necessary to move, but you also have to be doing the work to manifest the ability to move, right? To build that wealth that is required, right? It's just a reality of our world. Everything requires money and hard work and persistence. And this is that kind of energy. If you wish to connect to this queen, if you wish to have this profound relation, you have to not only change your habits, change your reality, move towards her, but you have to do all of that hard work of manifesting and of building, right? It's not just enough to change and to flow. You're going to have to do physical transformations, building, real work. All right. Let's do our crosses. What does this change mean? This change means that this prince is going to move and have to take responsibility. They're going to have to come into loving contact with this Princess of Cups, right? The prince cannot remain a prince with this energy. This is not going to work. The prince, in order to be there for that princess, will have to become the knight, right? Or will have to become the queen. He cannot stay as he is, right? That will not be taking responsibility. That would be doing the princess a disservice. And that wouldn't be the change necessary, right? You have this love to give, but there's profound change and growth here. There's profound movement and love coming in, right? This child represents so much. It's not just necessarily a child, but in that truly creative sense, it could be work, it could be art, it could be projects, but this is something that's collaborative and beautiful that must be nurtured and tended to, that will produce incredible results if it's engaged with, if you can change and move towards it. You must love this child, right? And you must show up for this child and take responsibility. Wow. If we look at this one, This energy of connection to the queen, this prince is going to have to go through a death and a transformation, right? I just told you, this prince cannot take responsibility for the princess, right? They cannot be in flow with the princess. The prince can also not marry the queen, right? The prince must show up as a knight in order to be that energy in connection with her, right? In order to be able to be in flow with her, he must meet her where she is at. There must be a death and a rebirth. And that death and rebirth is going to come through this connection with the moon, with this feminine, and through manifesting this change and doing the hard work necessary, right? Doesn't mean there can't be love here, but if this energy is going to truly come into flow with this, it must be reborn. It has to do that incredible hard work, right? The tower manifesting the wealth is not easy, right? But there is so much love here, so much love. You just need to change and overcome death, right? Wow. Now's that energy, though. Now's the time, Moon and Scorpio. Reflect upon your habits. What do you need to change? How can you actually move to this? How can you be what you desire, right? Now's the time to take responsibility, Prince. Now's the time to grow up, to become that knight, right? Save the princess, rescue, marry the queen, become the king, the emperor. All can be achieved. It's all about what you desire. And if you can take those profound actions, if you can do the work, if you can do the change, if you can face death, right? If you can take responsibility, if you can be in loving flow. All right, that's the message. I hope it resonates. Okay, right? The message, the prince got to show up with better energy, right? You can't be in loving flow with the queen and the princess unless you take responsibility. All right, everyone. For our final sorties, we are going to hop back over to the underworld. Perfect for this moon in Scorpio. All right. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from the underworld? Inspire us with a final message this evening. Okay. While karma decrees that all mortals are born to die, Yama can postpone one's death, thereby extending their allotted time. Wow. I think the key to this one is karma decrees that all mortals are born to die. Death is a part of life, and it must be faced. Transformation sometimes must be even initiated. And death is also that profound energy we see coming. Death is inevitable, right? It's not that tower, that violence that comes up and pulls the rug out from under us. It's that slow creeping force that's telling you to move. That's telling you that eventually change is going to come over you. And eventually your time is done. But it's never fully over. An ending is just another beginning. And if you truly want a new beginning, if you truly want to become something different, you have to let the old self die. All right. Deep energy. I hope this really connected with you all. Peace and love. Until tomorrow. Thank you all for joining me.